For this podcast because I'm hitting the reset button and I'm gonna start doing the podcast by myself completely, but Colton and Petey will probably be on most of them still. I'm just not gonna rely on anyone else anymore because they don't want to stick to my schedule, which Colton wasn't really tied down anyway. He wasn't actually a member, but Petey was. And I guess I'm putting him on blast right now, motherfucker. You're fired, I guess. Which you're going to find out after I record this, before it goes up, that fuck you, dude. Alright. I'm going to use this opportunity, though, to actually talk about what I'm going to be doing in the future. Oh, there we go. So I guess I'm going to start off with why it's actually called the BIRDBRAINS podcast. And it actually kind of has something to do with my last name, my new last name. It's actually not my real last name, but it will be soon. But BIRDBRAINS is actually supposed to refer to my brain, and it's just being pecked at by birds, I guess, is what I was going for. Because I'm an idiot, and if this and the podcast is really supposed to be like Sleepy Cabin. If anyone's ever seen Sleepy Cabin, it's with like Oni NG, Spaz Kid, Psychic Pebbles, and a bunch of those guys, all those animators and stuff, and they just bullshit. And it's really just a bullshit podcast. But I guess it's really the picture. I just needed something to go on the background, so I took a picture and I put it into Krita, I think is what it's called, and just kind of fucked with it until it looked like that. I liked it, so and then I added BIRDBRAINS to my head to kind of signify that it's my bird brains. I guess now I'm going to be posting the podcast on Fridays, whether I have anybody with me or not. It could just be me, it could be with a guest, who knows. I have an Instagram, and it's Real Ryan Raven. That is also my Twitter. I'll probably be doing a TikTok also. And I guess I'm going to be posting podcast on Friday, and I'm going to be doing stories on Mondays and Wednesdays. What I want right now, all I've got on my want list is I need my studio to be more comfortable and to have better technology, because my computer sucks at the moment. I want to have guests on. Probably my buddy Michael is going to be a guest pretty soon, because he was talking about wanting to be on here. I have another friend that wants to do it, that I was talking to about the apocalypse and like what we would do, and if we started a community, and if I was a leader or something. I guess I'll just roll into my favorite influencers, because I don't really know what else to talk about by myself. This will probably be a short podcast this time. Really bummed out that I don't have someone else helping me. Petey. Alright, my favorite influencers, let's see, like I said, Sleepy Cabin's a big influence of why I started this podcast. It's an old podcast. Really like Philip DeFranco. That's pretty much where I get my news on YouTube. I usually read my news, but he's a video format that I like. Also Tim Pool and Ben Shapiro I watch sometimes. Joe Rogan, definitely. He's definitely an influence on why I wanted to start a podcast, because I don't really watch, I listen to his podcast. Almost every single one that comes out. Recently, I've been into Steve-O's podcast, mostly because Demi Lovato came on. That's the one that I watched. I'm not really a fan of hers, but I was just like, okay, I haven't heard this name in a while, and I enjoyed that podcast, so I followed her, and I'm keeping up with Steve-O's podcast now. I've liked Luna for a while. He tells, like, stories of when he was a teenager and shit. Same with X-Code. I'm a huge fan of him. I've been with him since he had, like, 250,000 subscribers, and now he's at almost 800,000, so it's been a while. I like David Dobrik. I follow him on all social media. I've watched Penguin Zero or Charlie or Critical, whatever you want to call him, since probably he started, pretty much since he started making content. Like, good content, if you can call it good. And I like his podcast, official podcast. It's pretty good. For gaming news, I watch The Quartering sometimes, and like Jim Sterling and Young Yaz, probably the best you can get for gaming news, because he doesn't really have emotion whenever he talks about the news. He just kind of tells you what's what. I like PewDiePie. I've been watching most of his videos since he became a meme lord. I'm giving full disclosure. I'm sitting here drinking beer, smoking pot. It's like my favorite thing to do. I probably drink at least 1-2 beer a day right now, which I don't think is bad. You can have your opinion, but I think beer instead of soda or pop or whatever the fuck you want to call it is way better for your health. And I like beer. Not even for the alcohol, I just like the taste of beer at this point. I don't even remember the last time I was drunk, which that's funny. I don't remember the last time I was drunk. I think the most I drink is like maybe 4 or 5 beer once a week, if that. I'll just, start to feel really good. Mostly because I smoke a lot of weed. I quit for a little while and got back into it, and recently I've been blowing down probably every day, including on the podcast, because it's just great. Why wouldn't I do that? Just a sentence enhancer, thought enhancer. So something interesting. All of the things are happening at once. We're going into space. The government's taking over. There are riots. About to go to war with China. Pandemic. Maybe possibly going to Mars soon. And gonna get maybe hit by another asteroid. And earthquakes are going off in the Yellowstone, which could trigger a supervolcano to explode. So we're in a really good position right now. But hey, at least the liquor stores are open. I've been playing a lot of Terraria recently because the 1.4 update came out. I got it back in like 2012, I think. It came in an indie game pack. Anyway, I've been playing it a lot. I've been playing it on master mode, and it is a bitch, but goddamn, I missed playing that game. That's a really good game. It's kind of a bummer that you lose all your money. I've been playing Minecraft also. Been anticipating the update coming out. I've kind of just been fucking around on creative mode with the snapshots as they come out. Kind of gotten back into Plague Inc. I bought it a long time ago on Steam, so I downloaded a bunch of mods. I pretty much got all the achievements in it, so I didn't really care about it. Who cares about achievements anyway? But I guess it gave me something to do in it, and I'm playing it again with mods, and it's pretty fun. I can kill the world, I can save the world, I can give the world just zombies. It doesn't matter. Probably about to play it again after this. Probably go through on brutal and beat the game again on brutal, because why not? It's a fun game. I've also been playing Civ 5 again recently with mods, and it's pretty fun. I've been using an Avatar: The Last Airbender mod set, like a collection, I guess, that I downloaded or subscribed to. You know what, fuck it, I'm gonna come out and say it. I want to do DMT, or ayahuasca, or mushrooms, or acid. I don't know, something. I've done mushrooms a couple times, and it was great. I don't care if I have a good trip, bad trip. I just want to do it, especially DMT. I want to do it a few times, not like back to back, but over the course of maybe a year, do it 3 or 4 times. Maybe change my life. Who knows? I want to do acid at least a couple times. Mushrooms, I want to do a lot, probably, because mushrooms are great. But not like, maybe like once a month, maybe do some mushrooms, because they're not really harmful. They just kind of fuck your stomach up. You know, I think out of everybody to have as a guest on here, it'd probably be Eddie Bravo, because he is extremely toxic in his conspiracy theories. I'm to the point where I'm not even sure if he believes in the conspiracy theories or if he just doesn't believe anything and just replaces that with conspiracy theories. Speaking of conspiracy theories, Petey has been talking to somebody that possibly be on the podcast in the future about an organization that possibly exists called Q, which he says he knows exists, where Donald Trump and a bunch of other high up individuals are together in a, I guess, to fight evil. They're the ultimate good guys against New World Order and things like that. And apparently JFK Jr. is still alive, some shit like that. I don't know. I haven't looked into it, but it sounds like a load of bullshit to me, because from what I've seen from Donald Trump, he's just kind of off the cuff, and he's not planning shit. He's just going day by day trying to win the headlines. I'm not going to get political, but I really hate everyone in politics, whether they have good intentions or bad intentions. They just kind of all suck, and they're all dumb, and act like they know what they're talking about, and they know what everybody wants all the time. And everybody wants different things, so how could they possibly know what everyone wants? And they try and change things like they know what they're doing, but nobody really knows what they're doing. I think that's kind of the point of a government, because we're just figuring shit out as we go, and we're doing some things right and most things wrong. What kind of tangent did I just go off on? Jesus, I hate being alone. That was crazy. I am definitely not an introvert. I'm definitely an extrovert. I need to be around people, or like I start to go slowly insane. I like to be alone sometimes, but Jesus Christ, this is a lot of pressure. I have a plan for when I have money and I'm successful and can afford to do this, to buy some land. Basically, it's going to be 2 pieces of land together, and it'll have my nice, homestead as the main part of it, and then some trees to act as a fence to the backlands, which will be just destruction and havoc within the legal limits of the law, of course, where we blow things up, smash things, for views, obviously. And anyone's invited, really, if you want to come out there. You're not allowed on my homestead unless I give you permission, but anyone will be allowed in the backlands if you want to be there at any time. You can stay there if you want. I'll have trailers built, and I will have specific rules set in place to protect the domesticated land and the housing and all of that. There will be designated areas there, and also my apocalypse bunker will be in the backlands, and no one is allowed to go in there either unless I give them permission, which most people will probably be allowed in there as like a tour or something, or just to hang out, because why not? This content, I'd really like that to happen. I'd really like to get this second stimulus check, if it's even going to happen, because I can use that money for my studio, because all the money I have really right now is kind of going toward living expenses and savings and investing, and I can't really use that money to make my studio better right now if I already have all of the things I technically need There's just things that I want at this point. I have a computer, I have a microphone, I have internet. That's kind of really all I need to have a YouTube channel and social media following that I'm looking for at this moment in time. But I can always, get things to spice it up, make things better, make my environment better to make the content flow easier, and I'd be happier. Yeah. You get the idea. Number 1 on my list right now is I need a fucking whiteboard, so I don't have to use poster board to write down all of the things that I need and then just rip it down and throw it away. It's a waste, but I have to do it because eventually the poster board gets so written on, I guess, wrote on, whatever, that is just useless. I can't use it anymore because I use a lot of poster board, probably like 3 or 4 a week, because big words on your wall is a good reminder of what the fuck you need to be doing. And I need some better lighting because right now I'm using 2 lamps and they're kind of ugly lamps. One of them's kind of cool, it's got some flowers on it, but it's really fat and bulky looking and kind of ugly. I do like the flowers that are on it though. Probably gonna get some neon signs, maybe one of those moon lamps that I see all over Amazon, because why not? They've been trying to sell me one. They're cool enough that I might buy one. I want to get, it's a stand that has Shenron from Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z with the Dragon Balls around him, and they're all lit up, and it's a light. It's a cool light source, 'cause why not? I'm wanting to get a computer desk and a chair so I can edit comfortably, and a table and 3 chairs or 4 chairs, some headphones, audio mixer, some more microphones, just so I can have an actual like podcast studio and be able to make other content. Maybe like 3 or 4 cameras, then maybe have a video podcast instead of just audio, and I can have video content, probably my stories that I'm going to be telling. And I want to get a rug and soundproofing for the walls, because that would just help with the sound in this room. I need to get a big screen like a TV or a giant monitor so I can like use a screen during a podcast, or have it up for like my script if I'm doing a video or something. I'm not really using a script, but I have notes for talking points and things. And like a mounted tablet with an arm that can just move around and bend and stuff, like an opposable arm, so I can have quicker access to the internet and don't have to pick up my phone, pick it up and off the table and put it back down on the table, making a bunch of noise and distraction. Maybe eventually I'll do it live and have a producer on the show. Who knows? I'm probably about to cut this podcast short because it's midday and everyone's home and it's kind of loud in the house. I have to pause a lot and I'm going to have to cut a lot of stuff. But before I end it, I'm going to give a little bit of context of why I'm starting into social media. It's not so I can gain fame or really get an audience going. That'd all be great. Or getting rich or something. I don't really care about all of that. I just really want to do something that I feel like could replace my current work. And I want to be making money doing something that I want to do. That's why I haven't really jumped into other social media so far, is because I haven't really figured out something fun to do that I want to do with other social media. Right now, I'm enjoying the podcast, even though it sucks right now because I'm alone. I'm not upset or anything. It's just like it kind of sucks that I can't get other people on the same schedule as me, which is probably me trying to ask too much, but I'm trying to get rolling. I want to be successful, but what I'm really after is just comfortability and happiness. I don't know. I didn't really plan to do this one alone. We were supposed to do it together. That's why it's kind of shorter this time, but next time I'm going to have a plan to be alone. I don't know if the next podcast I'm going to be alone or if it's going to be the one after, but one of the two next podcasts, I'm just going to do it alone. I'm going to actually come in with a plan and have topics to talk about instead of just kind of going off the cuff. But who knows? I might just enjoy going off the cuff like this. It might even get better in the future when I've thought about things that I could possibly go off about or rant about or just talk about. But anyway, check out my stories on Mondays and Wednesdays. It's just stories about my younger self. Maybe sometimes I'll post things about what I'm wanting to do, things that are on my mind, or things to clear up drama. Who knows? Anyway, I'm Ryan Raven. Have a good one. Go